Hello, today I'm going to show you two projects. Okay, the project is this. Okay, the project here is the nuclear F446RE nuclear board, and also a ENC28. So ENC28 G60 Ethernet module. It's an SPI interface, so this part is SPI interface. Okay. So this project here is trying to using this board through SPI interface, driving this guy to get an IP address, maybe from outside, to access a web server inside this board here. Okay. Okay. First, I'm going to show you the project. The project has been created using STM32 Cube MX. Okay. So you can see this is SPI1 clock. So it's mapped to PB3. So where is PB3? Okay. PB3. Okay, this board here. So we're searching this. Okay. Make it big. So it's PB3 is here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's clock. Okay, when you look at the video here. Okay. So this is this one is the clock pin. So you can count from here 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a clock, okay? So the other three, this is chip select mapped to PB6, okay? You look at the picture here, PB6. Hard to see, okay? We look at the document here, PB6. It's this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, okay? So look at the, so it's 1, 2, 3, this guy. So this guy here is chip select. So all these wires has to be mapped to this board here. And this board is this, okay? So look at the data sheet here. Overview. External connection. SPI clock. We can talk. Top here. So, okay, all these registers. Okay. That's quite complex board. Okay. different. But anyway, once you got this board, you will be able to see something here. So this part here is the SVI connection. You have to map your board. Make sure the connection is correct from here. Okay, so you can see from here I'm using 4 pins. So chip selection, clock, and MOSI, MISO, so master in, slave out. So it's master out, slave in. Slave is ENC38, J60. Okay, ENC28, J60. Okay. Now we look at the project. To look at a project first, you have to create a project. So let me finish this one first. So once you do the mapping, once you finish the mapping, you can press generate code. But to generate code, in here you have to be able to select whether you want to use all this different kind of project or not. I use makefile. So I use makefile to generate the project. Okay. You press the generate code, it will generate the code like this. Like this. So you see in this user code end means you can change your code here. Change your code here. So next time when you press generate code, it won't change you this part. First, let me run this project. To run it, it does start Wireshark. Okay, Wireshark started. Okay, let's go to project. Okay, we make it. Okay, project has been made. Press F5 to start the project. Okay, started. Let's stop it. Okay, it's inside here. Let's do some debug. Okay. Okay, let's go inside. So this function here is running all the timers. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. You can continue run it. Let's let us see this motion capture. Stop it. We will see here. This the DHCP discover packet sent by us. How do we know? Sorry, it's here. 7069 MAC address, which is ours. Okay, what's our MAC address? Okay, 7069 3031. So 3031, which is us. So we send the packet out, trying to get IP address, but it's not successful. Why? The reason is a checksum. Look at the checksum here. That's incorrect. That's 0. Should not be 0. Should be something like this. BA num_b, something like this. Anyway, this is halfway pointing, but actually next step is debug why the checksum is wrong. You can see the project it's using LWIP. Okay, it's using LWIP. There's all the LWIP functions. So let's start from the beginning. So LWIP first function is this LWIP init. Inside the init, you look at here, this is adding a network interface, and this is initialized interface. This is setting the input. So let us see what's this function here. Search this function here. So this function is here. So the Ethernet input. So this input here is actually you got the input from outside. You want to pass into LWIP. It is the entry of LWIP. Okay, so let's look at this function again. So this is the entry of LWIP, and look at the output. It's inside this function here. So this function here, you can see in this function here. We have to provide this function. See, this should be called at the beginning of program to set up the network interface. So low-level input to do the actual setup of the hardware. Okay. So you can see it's setting the names of interface. So this one's E and next one's N. So it was something like EN0, EN1, like this. You can see there's an output, two output. One is output, this one is this. So what is this? Okay, this output here is trying to check. Okay, it's trying to check this. So output actually the packet from LWIP will go out through this function call. Okay, when this one finish, it will call this. Okay, so how do we know? Let's go side here. So this function here, look at the function's end. It will call this function. So look at here. It will call this function. Yep, look at here. So last one is this. We'll call this function link output. So here, this is the link output. This is last function from last function call from LWIP. So user has to implement this function. So okay, this is skeleton and it's working. So here you can see it's sending a packet out. So the packet from LWIP is P buffer. You have to unpack the P buffer into your text buffer, TX buffer, and call your ENC28 driver. Okay? This is how the input-output LWIP works. Okay. So next thing, I'm going to show you a different project, which is I did. I call it no LWIP. This function, this project has a lot more. It doesn't have LWIP, so there's no LWIP. You can see from the makefile. It has some checksum, my socket, TCP sock, SMP, ARP cache, my DHCP, UDP server, etc. socket, and this is the ENC driver. That's all. So this is pretty simple project. It just get an IP address from the router. Let's stop this one first and run this project. There's no LWIP on it. Okay, it's already been built. Let's run it. So, okay. So let's open this PC here. P11. Okay. Oh, it's here. So this here, I'm gonna explain why we're using this one. So the reason is this board here. This board here. So this part is STLink actually. This STLink extracted this TX RX serial port output from this two pin. It just mapped into STLink. So STLink will create a serial port for us. If you're using a wire like this and trying to get data out from here, you won't get anything from this two pin here. The reason is STLink already set up this connection between this TX RX. Okay. So this is STLink and mapped to here, mapped to TDY ACM0. Here. Okay. Let's run this project again. Make the project smaller. Put in here. Okay, I'm gonna run this project. Now it's run. Okay, you can see it's it got an IP address. This IP address. So it's 192.046. Okay, so it's our IP. So our IP is this 102. So we're gonna ping this IP address. Why it's not working? Sure. Oh, check some error. So ICM check some error. Must be our hardware got some issue. But we got the IP address. Why checksum is error? Anyway, I think it's hardware issue somewhere. Okay, let's have a look at Wireshark again. Let's ping it. Ping request. up. Request. No response found. So checksum is correct. So we ping it. We ping from this 0102 to 104, but we pin this board here, and no response. Oh, I know why. It's because we see the error, checksum error, so we didn't reply. So that's why. Anyway.